Dating after 50 isn't awkward because you forget how to flirt. It's awkward because you've lived long enough to know what doesn't work. See, when you're younger, dating is curiosity. Later in life, dating is memory. You remember how things ended. You remember the signs you ignored. You remember how long it took to recover from the heartache. So now when someone new shows interest, there's a pause. And it's not because you're uninterested, but because you're quietly asking yourself, is this worth it? And that question alone changes everything. When you date after 50, you're not chasing a feeling anymore. You're measuring impact. You're thinking about how much effort this is going to take, how much compromise, and how much emotional energy. You're not afraid of love. You're afraid of disruption. And that makes sense. Most people dating at this stage have already built a life, a routine, a rhythm, a version of themselves that took decades to mold. So when someone new comes along, excitement isn't the first emotion. Evaluation is. Not judgment, but evaluation. Does that person add to my life, or do they complicate it? And that's not being cold, it's actually being grown up, it's actually being mature. And here's something people don't talk about by 50. Dating isn't about potential anymore, it's about patterns. You don't say, well, they can become better. You say, well, this is who they are. And you have to make a decision whether you're willing to accept that. But that clarity is freeing, but can also be terrifying. Because once you see clearly, you can't unsee. You can't lie to yourself the way you once did. People assume dating after 50 fails because people are too picky. And that's simply not the truth. It fails because people are tired. They're tired of starting over. They're tired of explaining themselves. They're tired of having the same conversations with different faces. There's a fatigue that sets in, and it's not a bitterness, it's a fatigue. And when someone is tired, they don't want sparks, they want ease. That's why so many connections after 50 start strong and fade quietly. Not because anyone did anything wrong, but it's because one person realized this is more work than I want right now. And instead of forcing it, they step back. That's maturity, even if it hurts. Another truth, people after 50 don't fear being alone as they once did. They've been in relationships where they've given more than they've received. They've stayed longer than they probably should have. They've traded peace for companionship. So now when something feels off in the early going, they listen, not because they're closed, but because they promised themselves at some stage in their life that they would not ignore that voice in their head again. Dating after 50 isn't less romantic, it's quieter. There's less performance, less trying to impress, less pretending to be someone you're not. When it works, it feels natural, not intoxicating. And that confuses people who think intensity equals connection. Some people walk away from good relationships at this stage because it doesn't feel dramatic enough. They mistake calm for boredom. But calm is what healthy feels like when you've lived long enough to recognize it. And dating apps don't help. They promise options. But after 50, options don't excite people. They actually overwhelm them. You're not scrolling thinking, okay, who's the hottest? You're thinking to yourself, who won't complicate my life? And that's a very different search filter. What makes dating and life harder isn't age, it's honesty. You're more honest with yourself now. You know what you can give. You know what you won't give anymore. And you know when something doesn't align. And honesty does shrink the dating pool, but it improves the quality. And one of the biggest shifts after 50 is this. You stop chasing connection. You allow it. You don't push it. You don't force it. And you don't convince yourself that there is a connection. And if it flows, you stay. And if it doesn't, you leave. That's not avoidance. That's self-respect. Some people worry love after 50 won't feel the same. And you know something? You're right. It won't. It actually feels better because it's chosen. It's not needed. Because it's shared. It's not chased after. Because it's calm. It's not chaos and drama. If dating after 50 feels slower, believe me, that's not a problem. It just means that you're paying attention. And if it feels quieter, that's not a loss. It means you stopped confusing noise for connection. Dating after 50 isn't about finding someone to complete you. It's about choosing someone who fits the life you've already built. And when it's right, you won't have to question it. You feel it in how simple it is to stay. If this sounded like real life to you, you're not alone. And if you want more honest, grounded conversations like this one, do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. This isn't about dating advice. It's about dating with clarity. So thank you for listening on the podcast. Thank you for watching on the YouTube channel. And I will see you on the next episode of Dating to Win.
Thanks for listening to Dating to Win. If you're serious about improving your dating game, don't miss an episode. Hit the subscribe button or go to youtube.com/datingtowin25. Good luck out there, and we'll see you on the next episode of Dating to Win.